Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. You can always email Fred a question during the week, and he gets to as many as he can during the show. And we had one from Jason this week. It's fred@planttalkradio.com. That's the address. Jason writes in, he says, Fred, I built a fire pit in my backyard, and I'd like to put some trees around it to make it a little more private. Now, I was thinking about a row of arborvitae or juniper, but our backyard is very shady. Will those grow in the shade, or would you suggest something better?
Well, Jason, I almost have to suggest something better. Now, if I were to look at your yard or be standing in it at midday and can tell where the sun's coming from and going to and how much ambient light there is and so on, I might say that those two plants are okay. But by and large, arborvitae and juniper are full sun plants. By full sun now, as we've mentioned in the past, 6 hours qualifies as full sun for most every plant. If you don't have 6 hours or more, or if you have between 4 and 6 hours, I'd say anything less than 4 hours of direct sun probably should use something else. Now, the something else is a bit debatable. There are several types of viburnum that will grow in shady areas. They're kind of native understory trees, shrubs in our area. They will get a good bit wider than the arborvitae and juniper, but they're still a considerable, consideration. I would recommend first and foremost Taxus hicksi, H-I-C-K-S-I, or HicksU. It is a plant that's going to grow in a columnar way. You can shape it to be pointed if you wish, but it's by and large a plant that is going to be a possibility of up to 12 feet tall, which is a little bit more than most people need unless you're knocking out the view from upstairs windows or something like that. But I'd have to recommend going to the Taxus group if there is less than 4 hours of sun. Now, one thing that will help on that is to invite a landscape designer into your yard or garden center person that can stop by and ask them to just make a judgment on light. Many plants defy what it says in the book, and in one site they defy what would happen in another site. But I'd have to tell you to be cautious about using the arborvitae and juniper. And of the two, if you find that you have enough light to sustain either, I would go for arborvitae personally. I think they will hold up in some shade a little bit better than will the junipers. Junipers pretty much don the dark sun to keep them in really vibrant shape.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com